Hi, welcome to this year's Facebook Live Q&A session. My name is Jeff McBain. I'm the group leader for the Detroit Marathon Facebook Runners Group.
And I am Jackie Kelly. I am the newest addition to the marathon leadership team. I have been the one answering all of your Facebook questions that you DM us and your emails and everything like that. So I am excited to see what you guys have for us for race day.
So I know one of the first things that has been on a lot of people's minds is bib numbers. Have those started to be released?
So unofficially, yes. If you have the Marathon app, which is just Detroit Marathon in any of your app stores, and you're registered for our international races, you will be able to see your bib number if you look up live tracking. Unfortunately, bib numbers were assigned for every registration that's before September 11th. So if you registered after that, you won't be able to see your registration yet, or if you made a race change, you won't be able to see it yet. But officially, you'll get an email and they'll be live by Wednesday.
Okay, and if people need to change the race that they're in, are they still able to do that?
Yes, so transfers have been closed for us since the international deadline, so give you peace of mind, nobody has been able to transfer. But you will be able to do it at the expo. What you're going to do is basically you're just going to go pick up your bib like you would normally and then indicate to whoever's helping you that you'd like to make a race change. They'll take you over to Problems and Solutions, and you'll be able to make any changes there for a $30 fee. But a little caveat to that is if you're registered for an international race, you can register transfer to any of the races. But if you're registered for a domestic race, you can only register for other domestic races.
Okay, great. And I know another hot question is corrals. When will people find out what corral they are assigned to?
That's a toughie.
Yep.
I think when you get your email for your bib number, the corral should be attached to that. We're not 100% sure what the functionality is going to be. So, but if not that, you'll definitely have it when you pick up your bib.
Right. And I know in previous years, there's been at least a wave of different letters, A, B, C, and all the way down so that people are able to line up too.
Yep. It's about 1,500 people split between 15 different letters.
Okay.
And they'll go off at 2-minute increments. So the first will go off at 7, the last will go off at 7:30.
Okay, great. Let's see. No questions yet. If you guys have questions, please type them up and we will be happy to answer them. Let's see. Another question that I know I've seen come up a lot is parking. At least for the best experience that I know is to use the app Spot Hero. We had that app last year and everybody seemed to really enjoy it. It made things a lot easier. You're able to reserve and pay for your parking on the app, and that makes it a lot easier instead of trying to drive around and figure out where a parking spot is. But with parking, there comes road closures.
Yes.
Do we know anything about that yet?
Road closure, well, two things.
Okay.
I would definitely 100% recommend looking up into our parking and transit tab on the website because we have Spot Hero and another parking site that's also helping us out. And there is a Detroit Lions game Sunday after the race, which means that parking is going to be even more limited because people are going to be getting down there early to tailgate. So if you haven't yet, I would definitely recommend looking on our website and seeing what is still available. Those are also generally going to be a little bit more safe spots to choose from as far as road closures. We have also on that same tab, we know the road closures that we know of already, which like bigger ones like the Lodge, when the tunnel's going to be closing down and stuff like that. But we really just have a max perimeter that we send over to the Detroit Metro, and it's kind of up to them to decide if they're going to do that exact perimeter or go further than that. So it's hard for us to determine what's actually going to be closed.
Right.
And then in regards to the U.S. half, those people have different instructions than regular marathon or international half marathon runners because they have to be parked on the east side of the course to be able to get to their start line. And there's a separate parking structure that's designated specifically for them. They'll have to show their bib, and all that information can be found in the email that was sent last week and the one that was sent out today.
Okay, great. So we're starting to get in some questions. We've got one asking about relay. not really looking, they didn't have a specific question. But another person was asking legs 4 and 5 on buses. Do we wait on the actual bus or do we get off the bus and wait outside?
So the buses will wait for you, like we'll have
Yep.
buses over there that you can sit and wait in. Last year I hear, this is my first marathon by the way, so last year I hear it was particularly cold, so
Yes.
that's why we're making sure that we have that option this year so people don't have to stand out and wait. That being said, make sure that you're paying attention to like when runners are coming by because we've had people like, circling the buses looking for their runners and
Right.
like people just sitting there like watching stuff on their phones. Also, the bus that you take there you'll never see it again, so don't leave stuff on the bus.
Right, so how do they handle their stuff? I'm assuming they would use Gear Check.
Yeah, so gear check is still definitely recommended. If you're going to be taking anything with you to that you don't want to run with, maybe arrange to meet with your coinciding leg to
Right,
see if they'd be willing to take the things for you, but less is better.
okay. And then they also asking if there's bathrooms on the bus.
That is a question that I'm not sure what the answer is to that.
I'm not sure, but I do know that there are a lot of porta potties around the course, and that was another big question in multiple groups. They are not located on the map, though.
So they're going to be where every fluid station is. There's going to be
Okay.
porta johns that are coinciding to
That
it.
makes it easy. So look on the map, everywhere that you see the water sign, there will be porta potties, which there are quite a bit of those available. Let's see, live tracking on the app, use GPS on the phone. Yes, that is the only way that I'm aware that you would be able to use live tracking with GPS.
Well, it's
Well-
actually not. That's not how the way that's not the way that our app is using it this year.
Oh, okay.
So our live tracking is based off of timing mats. There are, I believe, 11 different timing mats spread out throughout the course. The locations are not disclosed for, reasons.
Yeah.
And so basically, in theory, how it's going to work is every time you step over a timing mat, your progress is going to be updated in the app. I don't want to disclose anything in case it doesn't work, but if that works, there might be a better way that it works, but we don't want to say anything just in case that's the minimal way that it's going to be functionality.
Right. And for those that had difficulty with live tracking last year, we did get a brand new app with a different company that has made race apps for a lot of different races. So this year will be a lot better experience with the live tracking. Your friends and family will be able to find you and keep track of your progress on the app as well.
What else do we have?
We've got, are you able to switch corrals given your time goal if your time goal has changed since registration?
Yeah, so it's going to be similar to doing stuff at the expo. Instead of going to problems and solutions though, you'll go to the information booth,
Okay.
which I apologize because some people, I did think it was originally problems and solutions. So I spoke to you about that originally. Go to information booth, do not go to problems and solutions. But just so you know, there's no penalty for starting later, so you don't need to change your corral if your goal time didn't work out and you're going to be a little bit later. You can just go into the later corral. But if you want to move up, you do need to get an update. Otherwise, we will have people checking corrals and you won't be able to get in. That also being said, if your time has changed a whole bunch, you do need to also bring some sort of proof saying that is what your pace is. That could be a Garmin training run, that could be official race results from another race, anything along those lines.
Okay, yeah, and that makes sense because a lot of people start with one goal and then through training they figure out that they're able to run faster. So it applies to both faster if you have a faster time or if you are injured or training didn't go as well, you're also able to move back corrals as well.
But you 100% don't need to do that if that's not something that you want to do when you're at the expo. There's no penalty to starting later.
Right. Okay, so no new questions. Let's talk about the fluid stations.
Okay.
What do we have as far as fluids for them?
So we'll be having water from Atsapure, and that'll be at every fluid station. And we're also going to be having Gatorade, Gatorade Endurance Formula Lemon Lime flavor, which will also be at every fluid station. And then at miles 9, and I believe it's 16, but I can double check if anybody's curious,
That's
we will be having the Cliff Gel shots. And so that's going to be in chocolate, strawberry, raspberry, and citrus.
Ooh, a lot of choices. A lot of choices. Let's see if we've got anything else coming in. I'm trying to think if there was any other questions that I've seen come through. For the expo, it's now at TCF Hall or
Center, yes.
TCF Center.
Yes.
TCF Center. Times that's open and available.
Sure, so that's going to be Friday from 2 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
and on Saturday from 10 to 7 p.m.
Okay. And international people running the marathon or international half marathon have to pick up their packets.
They can do it on Friday or Saturday, but if you're doing one of the Motor City Challenges, you need to pick up your bib on Friday. And then additionally, if you're planning, you got injured, your training didn't go as planned, and you're planning to move from a Sunday race to a Saturday race, you need to come to the expo on Friday night because the expo isn't open before the race is on Saturday. I think there is one other question. Instead of using tech shirts, that's a great question. Tony wants to know if next year instead of tech shirts, we could give out hoodies or jackets. And that's something I'll definitely bring up to the other members of the marathon leadership team. However, we have to consider cost effectiveness too. So I don't really know how well that's going to go over, just to be honest, but I will bring it up.
Right, because we are always open to feedback, because we are trying to make this race bigger and better each year. Some things we're able to do, some things we're just not able to make happen.
Plus being Michigan and being that the weather is what it is, I mean, knock on wood, it's looking, sorry about that.
Yep.
It's looking pretty good for this year, and I'd be pretty hot running a sweatshirt if it's going to be 68 degrees. So
Yeah.
something to think about.
It definitely fluctuates. We had 68, I think, a few years ago, and then last year was 35, 40. So, okay, we got more questions, suggestions for spectators to watch. Specifically, places that would be okay for kids in strollers. That's a twist.
Ooh, that's a toughie.
Yeah.
We do have on our website, I put together a blog post for an official spectator's guide. So there's about 10 or so different spots where you can go to run the race. Not run, watch the race.
Yes.
So I would definitely recommend looking that up. I've linked to it before, but I'll also share it again either tonight or tomorrow on our page so you guys can look at it. There's a ton of different areas for entertainment. I'm thinking maybe if you have a kid in a stroller, you might want to steer clear of that because it might be a little loud for them. But all of them are also indicated if it's in an entertainment area. So that'll hopefully help out you.
Okay. Warming tents near a starting area.
I don't think so.
No, it's typically
Your body's warming up, right?
Yeah.
That's what everybody says.
Well, if you need to be warmed up, that's where you could just go. You can have your warm up from gear check to the start line, which do you know about how far that would be?
So I can tell you gear check's going to be where concrete is, which is 4th Street and 3rd, but that's only a block or two away from the start area. So it's not too much of a warm up. But.
Right. It's still an opportunity for somebody to try getting warm.
Yep.
Okay. Can a spectator ride the bus back to the final meeting place with their relay runner? I don't think so.
So, I mean, keep in mind, there isn't going to be somebody checking to see if you ran for this leg
Right.
for the buses, but also keep in mind the amount of people that actually are running it, and I would hate for them to not have a spot on the bus after they just did 6 miles, 8 miles, however long their distance was.
Right.
So just don't take advantage of it, I would say.
Right. Will there be plenty of merchandise at the expo both days?
Yes, I would hope so.
Yes.
We have New Balance coming in, and they're going to have a huge booth for you guys to look
Yep.
through. And then we also have a ton of other booths that are going to have lots of other swag and different things for you guys to buy. So I wouldn't worry about that at all.
Right. The only item that I do know is a hot item is the
Underwater Mile.
Yes.
Yes.
And that one, I know from experience, those sell out fast. Those and different sizes. For every expo booth that's there, they only have certain sizes available. They're not going to have a lot of every size possible. So the sizes and the selections are going to be limited already based on what they bring, but there will be a lot of different things available.
And we actually also haven't seen a design yet for the Underwater Mile, so don't get too excited. They have it every year,
Yes.
but we haven't seen it. So.
I've even checked with my contact at Playmakers.
Yeah.
I've tried going around and trying to figure out because I know that's something that is a really cool design.
I want
see.
it. I don't
Yeah,
have one.
I know.
We'll
I
see.
know. I wanted one last year, but I think they only had like really limited selections.
So things to look for.
Yep.
Get there earlier the better if they do have it.
Yes.
Let's see. Do we have
Let's see. When?
Oh, the Spectator Guide post. Thank you,
Yes.
Jim. I appreciate you posting it.
Yes. The Facebook profile filters.
As far as I know, they all have been approved as of this morning, so you guys should be able to find them through all the same tags that you found them last year. So we have one for each race distance, the 26.2, the 13.1, the 5K, and the 1 mile. And then we also have a general one if you just want to post in general, and we have one with the Spirit of Detroit and one with the Bridge.
Ooh, nice selections.
Thank you.
Yeah. And where could they find them?
So I believe it's through all of the same tags that there were last year. So if you just look into like the other Facebook filters and like put in Detroit Marathon, whatever your distance is, they should come up.
Okay.
And they'll be available until I believe 2 weeks after the race.
Okay. So even after your race, if you end up getting more pictures from our free pictures this year, which is very cool, you'll be able to put the frame around those pictures and be able to save them and share them out.
Yep, and we have it as an option that you can make your profile picture or you can have it as a regular photo too. So if you're taking a picture through Facebook, the app itself, you should be able to put the filter on before you even take it.
Okay, and that brings up another question which kind of touched upon with the new app, but photos this year.
So photos, we're going through Enmotive, which if you guys are familiar, have run the Crims race before, it's the same company that they use. So I ran my first race this year was the Crim 5K, so I had the experience with it too, where basically your photos are going to be linked to your bib number, so they're going to automatically populate in your results page, and then they'll also be emailed to you as they go out.
Right, which again, like we touched upon earlier, based on last year's problems that we had with live tracking, we had similar problems with pictures, which we've got the feedback, and with this new app, like Jackie was saying, it's going to be a lot better experience. You will be able to find your pictures based on your bib number.
Yep, bib number, and then also after they have your bib number associated, they'll be able to correlate your face to it too, so it'll track even pictures where you can't see your bib, in theory.
Right, and how long will people have to wait for those?
So I'm not sure on that. If it's anything like the Crim, like people had pictures available almost as soon as they crossed the finish line.
Right. So all pictures should be available after.
Definitely, I would say probably by like Wednesday of that week.
Yeah, I would say give it at least a week to see, because it is a big race and there are a lot of pictures that need to be processed. So definitely keep checking the app. I think they can also check the website for pictures.
Yeah, so the same link that your results are going to be on, they'll be able to find it there as well.
Okay, so the app or the Freak Marathon website as well is where you can find pictures. Let's see if we got anything else coming in. Let's see, gear check bag should be the same bag I get at Pack and Pickup, right?
Yes, that is the only bag that'll be accepted for goodie bag stuff. The one that you got at your goodie bag, yeah.
Yep, and that will be the clear drawstring bag?
Mm-hmm. I had it on our Instagram 2 days ago. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's clear. It just has our logo on it in black lettering, and that'll be what is acceptable for gear check.
Okay, that's actually good to know. If you're not familiar with gear check, because I know a lot of races don't have it, it's an opportunity for you to put your clothes, like your warm-up clothes or clothes that you want to wear after the race, put them into the bag, put them into gear check, and we will have them waiting for you after you get done with the race. So you won't have to worry about going back to your car or having to leave your clothes with somebody else. That's definitely a very great option to take advantage of.
That being said, don't leave your gear check bag at the start line.
Yes.
Please, like we will take it and you'll never see it again.
Right.
So please leave it at gear check.
Yes. Gear check is for drop off and pickup will be at Concord.
Yeah. So everything's going to be at Concord. You're going to drop your stuff off there, the same place you drop it off is also going to be where you pick it up. It'll be open until 2 p.m. that day. And if for some reason you don't cross the finish line by 2 or you can't get there before then, we'll take everything back to our office, and then you'll just have to get in touch with us the following week to pick it up.
All right. And claim check will be the runner's bib?
Yes.
Yeah,
They're gonna
that's-
have a ticket on it.
Yeah, there's, as other races do, as part of your bib, there's going to be a spot where you can tear it off. They'll tie it around the drawstring and then put it in the gear check area. And then when you get done, just make sure you have your bib still on, and then go and you'll be able to collect your information or your bag. Somebody said, just try to apply a filter and they're not showing up yet.
What does that mean?
I think
the Facebook filter?
The Facebook filter.
I'm not 100% sure why it wouldn't. As far as I know, they're live, but I'll double check into it once we get off here and post about it if I know.
Okay, great. Let's see. We've got the expo covered. We've got Saturday's races. Well, actually, we talked about Sunday's races. Let's talk a little bit about Saturday's races because we have the 5K, the 1 mile, and the kids run. How will people be able to get there for parking?
Yes. So if you received the email today for all the Saturday races, there are 2 recommended parking lots that we have for the Saturday races. One of them is free for as long as supplies last, and that's the Aretha Franklin lot, I believe is what it's called now.
Correct.
And then there's also the GM lot, which is the Rensen lot, which there's a fee for that, but you also can leave whenever you want. Whereas with the Aretha Franklin lot, it will be closed during the event. You won't be able to leave until after.
Right. And on Saturday, the roads will not be shut down just for the actual 5K course.
Yeah, they should be fine.
So you'll have no problem getting there. It's a great opportunity to come down and not have to worry about dealing with a lot of road closures and getting lost. The information's in the email. What kind of food will be available at the finish shoot? We just had that one come in.
Okay, so there you're gonna have, you know what, I'm gonna give you the exact list because that's a question we've had a few times.
Yep.
And I don't want to mess that up. I also have it right here.
So while you're looking, I'm guessing, based on previous races, there'll be chocolate milk?
Yes, there will.
Oh, yes.
We will
That's
be
another
having
favorite.
Absa Pure Water, Gatorade Endurance in the lemon lime formula, chocolate milk, animal crackers, Dole pineapple juice, Goldfish, Dole fruit cups, pretzel twists, Meyer bananas, and Live Smart protein bars. And then if you head over to Concord, there will also be more options for you. We will have 3 local food trucks, Bear Claw, which will be supplying some lovely coffee beverages for those of you who need it, especially while your runners are out. And then the other 2 are Mac Shack and Guapo, I think is the last one.
Okay, and those, if they want something, they will have to pay for it?
Yeah, so those are not included, but the stuff that's in the finish shoot will be free.
Right.
And then the beer tent's also at Concord too, which is sponsored by the Michigan Humane Society.
So there is beer at the finish line?
Not at the finish line, at
Okay.
Concord.
At Concord, because we did have the question, is there beer at the finish? So there will be at Concord,
Yeah,
which is free or? is
there will be
for-
a nominal fee, but
Okay.
it's gonna be a lot lower than most of the bars up
Right,
here.
right, especially that early on a Sunday, that's pretty convenient, I think.
I saw a couple people were going to the Lions game after they run the race.
Yep.
What a great way to pregame.
I know. Enforcing the corrals, will there be somebody actually checking the bibs to make
Yes.
sure that somebody
Yes, there
goes?
will be 2 people at each entrance to the best of
Okay.
my knowledge, and they'll be directing the people where they have to go.
Okay, so there won't be anybody able to, at the expo is when they'll get like a sticker or
It'll already
something?
be on their bib, and if they need to make the change, there'll be more stickers over at the information
Okay.
booth.
Okay, great. Let's see if we have anything else. Any vegan options?
Bananas,
Yeah.
those bananas, I'm not 100% sure.
Sure. That's something that we could look into though.
Yeah, I mean, I know if you're looking for just like finisher options, like what I mentioned before, the fruit that we have over there, water, I'm sorry, I don't really know all that much, I'm not vegan. But I know that we were also talking with some people about having vegan options at Concord, so I think
Right.
there will be something there, but I'm just not 100% sure.
Right, right. Let's see, another question came in. Will the vendors at Concord accept electronic payments like Apple Pay, Garmin Pay, contactless payments?
That is a fantastic
I-
question. Do you know the answer to?
I don't think they would. That's something we could look into, for sure, but I know, it's based on the actual vendor. It's not something that would be globally available, for each vendor out there.
I just also asked my coworkers, so we'll see if they know the answer to it, but that's something that hasn't been brought up to my knowledge. Any other questions while we wait for that to come in?
Don't have anything here. We've got people.
Yeah, I'm sorry, they don't think that there's gonna be, electronic payment
Right.
options this year, but something to think about for next year. I know I've been to a lot of other festivals that do that too.
Right, and I know that it's always tough finishing a race and having the food trucks and everything available that usually accept cash. The best advice that I guess, since they don't accept electronic, is if you have a race belt, just put some cash in there. It'll be with you when you cross the finish line, and you won't have to worry about losing it along the way.
And anybody running the international races, they have to run with their passport anyways, so I'd
Yes.
recommend maybe if you're doing the Ziploc trick, just throw,
Yes.
a 20 in there, something like that.
Right, and that is another good point. That is something that I know I've posted and has been talked a lot about in the Facebook group. International races need to run with the passport or enhanced driver's license or
Passport card.
passport card. That is set up specifically through the Canadian government.
Yeah, so it's for a couple of reasons. Well, first is that although it's unlikely, if you look suspicious or
Yes.
anything like that, the Canadian border does reserve the right to stop you and ask for your identification to make sure that you're in the right
Yeah.
place. And then also, God forbid something should happen while you're in Canada. If you roll an ankle, if you for whatever reason can't complete the race, we need a way to get you back into the country. So even though you're wearing that bib, it doesn't necessarily mean the border's going to be like, see you later, you don't need
Yeah.
it. So definitely make sure you have some sort of international documentation when you're over there.
Right, and the way that I've always interpreted and try to explain it to other people is it's always better to have that with you. That way there is no chance for you to get pulled off the course. Well, first make sure your bib is visible at all
Yes.
times. That's key number one. Number two is make sure you have that document with you. Either in a race bib or race belt. That way, if there are any problems, your day's not ruined having to spend a lot of time dealing with non-race related activity.
If you don't have one of those too, I know a bunch of the running stores plan on having it with them at the expo, so you can always purchase one there.
Yep, and that's a great thing too about the expo is it gives you the chance to actually try them on. So you don't have to worry about ordering one online. A lot of different options available there. But yeah, I've always made sure to have mine with me. My bib number was always visible because the last thing I would want is for me to be running and having a good time and then having somebody pull me off course.
Yep.
And then not only is my race time finished, that's out the door. It's also an unneeded and unnecessary distraction.
Sure.
And so since we're talking about the international races, water, the backpacks, camelbacks, yes.
Not recommended. I wouldn't do it. That's going to be it's up to them, but that's really going to be a way to kind of get you on red alert for the border.
Yes.
There's a ton of fluid stations. I believe there's 19 of them throughout the course. We try to make them plentiful. If you have a handheld, there's still, they could stop you if they wanted to, but it's a lot less likely
Right.
than if you're carrying a big backpack with stuff.
Yep. And so that kind of goes along with carrying your international information with you. A lot of people I know have posted saying that they haven't had any problems. They've had their camelbacks. They haven't been pulled off the race. But we've also have other people saying that they've seen piles of camelbacks.
Yep. People have to ditch them and leave them. And those are expensive, I'm sure. So if I were you, I would leave it at home. It's not worth the risk.
Yeah, it's another thing is if you're willing to take the risk, more power to you, go for it. But it's something that we definitely don't recommend because like Jackie was saying, there are a lot of fluid stations around the course. We've got the water, we've got the Gatorade. We've got options available for you to help make it easier for you to get through the course. I think we've
Do you
got
have
more.
anything else?
I think we got more.
Available for those and help make it.
Nope, that's not it. Technical difficulty. Course entertainment.
There's a lot of it. What about it?
They want to know what kind of course entertainment can they look forward to.
All right, so I know we have a ton of musical acts booked. I know there's a boy band, which I'm really excited to see a boy band. I haven't seen one of those in a real long time since, the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
I know that we have a few different options, but I don't know who they are off the top of my head. That is something, though, that I think we could probably definitely get listed as a list of the course performers. I know that where we have in that spectator's guide also lists where you can find them on the course, so that's a pretty good indicator of places to go check them out, too.
Okay, and the spectator's guide can be found
on the website, and it was also shared in there. And then I'm also going to post it again, probably either later tonight or early tomorrow.
All right. Another question I know popped up today. Selfie sticks allowed on the course, especially through the border.
That's the first time I've gotten that question.
Yep.
I probably recommend not, but.
So my thought with that is if you are wondering about that, selfie sticks or GoPros or cameras, things of that nature, I would recommend getting to the expo on Friday. We will have people there that will definitely be able to give you the straight answer. I know the Canadian border agents will also be there so that you will be able to get the straight answer directly from one of them.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so we just got the answer. So no selfie sticks, no GoPros, and if you're going to take a picture, take a picture with your phone as most people do.
On that note, also try to be considerate of all the people around you too. The bridge, I know, and the tunnel, it just becomes a complete stop. And so really think about people who are actually trying to, go for their PR or be careful of stopping short because you could really injure somebody else too.
Right, and that actually brings up kind of like a race etiquette question because I know a lot of people are running or participating in one of these events for the first time. If you feel the need that you need to slow down or you want to stop to take a picture, try to get to one of the sides, either the right side or the left side before coming to a complete stop because there will be people around you that could potentially run into you or you might be getting injured because somebody might accidentally knock you down. So please try to get to one of the sides before coming to a complete stop.
Do you have anything else?
I think that's it. Do we have, if there are any last minute questions, we can go ahead and get them answered. I know that we covered a lot. We covered Expo, we covered Saturday's races, we covered parking, we covered water, we covered the Concord, Sunday's races with road closures. Don't think there's anything else. So if there are more questions, please post them in the Runners Facebook group. I know I keep an eye on that. If there's questions, I know you can get a hold of Jackie or somebody to help get those questions answered.
And feel free to keep DMing the Free Press. Not the Free Press, I'm sorry, the Marathon page.
Yes.
Don't DM the Free Press. They don't know the answers to the questions.
No.
But yeah, I'll still be there 24/7. Well, not 24/7, but it feels like 24/7 until race day.
Yep.
So come through.
All right. I think we are all set.
All right.
So,
thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
It's been fun.
Yeah. Good luck on race day, and hopefully you guys all have a great experience.
Yeah, we'll see you at the start.
Yep.